Hi, everyone. Welcome to our video series on applying REUs that we are putting together as part of the physics and astronomy community. My name is Daniel Serrano, and I am from the University of Maryland, College Park.
Hi, everybody. I'm Geraldine Cochran. I'm from Rutgers University, and I direct the Physics and Astronomy REU program there. So, what are REUs? REU stands for Research Experience for Undergraduates. Usually, these are 10-week paid faculty mentored summer internships to carry out research. Usually, they will cover expenses to get to the research site, so they'll usually cover your travel. They are usually cohort based, so there's about 9, sometimes 10 other research peers who are working on other projects at that institution. They don't require substantial previous research experience, but sometimes, depending on the project that is available, they might want more research experience, or sometimes they're looking for someone with no research experience so that you can gain research experience. They also provide professional development beyond the research project. This might be preparation for things like the GRE, how to give a research talk, how to put together a poster, lots of things like that. And they also have application deadlines, most of them in January or February. Sometimes they have earlier and sometimes slightly later deadlines.
Right. So if you're watching this video, you know that you are on step 4 of our series. But we also have videos on self-reflection and prep work that goes into before applying to REUs. Another one on actually finding what opportunities are out there for you to apply. A longer video on how to assemble your application. And then so today we are going to be talking about the specific part of what happens when you get an answer from a opportunity that you have applied.
All right. Also, we want to mention that applying to REUs is a very individual process. So if you need like support or additional information after watching the video series, please reach out to us. We are all happy to help you all. We can be reached at the REU application help@gmail.com. If you want to meet and talk about like your specific situation, finding the right fit for you, or even get tips on like your application and the application process, again, please reach out to us. We are very happy to talk to you.
All right, so you have applied to a number of REUs and you are getting some responses from these places. So let's first talk about if you got good news. So let's say that you got into a place. First of all, congratulations. This is a great achievement. And now it's up to you to decide whether you want to accept that offer or reject that offer. The first thing to note is that you should be aware that REU opportunities in physics and astronomy cannot require you to accept an offer before the first Friday of March. So as organizers of these opportunities, we have come together and agreed that the first Friday of March, before that, they shouldn't request for a response from you. So if you're getting that information, there might be something off, and so you should have that expectation. So once you get an offer, if that offer doesn't have all the information that you need to make a decision, definitely don't hesitate to request a meeting with your assigned faculty mentor or the organizer of the REU, who should have been the one that sends you that offer. And just ask them to meet, and so that you can ask all the questions that will help you make that decision and make the right decision for you to go to the right opportunity that summer. This allows you to determine if the mentor and the project are really a good fit before deciding, because sometimes there are descriptions on websites at the time that you applied, but you can get a more in-depth idea or even a more updated idea of what the project might look like in the summer. And that allows you to really assess if that's an opportunity you want to take. And so if that information is not there, then ask for it. There's important aspects to consider, like what is the housing arrangement? If they said that they will provide travel, maybe how much of your travel will be covered? Is it everything? Is it up to a certain amount of dollars? What is the sort of logistics to arrange for that travel to happen? In addition to the research, what program offerings they have. So In our previous slide, we talked about there's professional development opportunities typically offered by REUs. So what types of activities will be offered? What's the schedule looking like? Is there community building? Are they going to have some fun activities planned for you and things like that? And what are some of the logistics for like actually getting from where you are now in the middle of your term taking classes to doing research in the summer at some possibly far away from home. We also have this link on some good questions to ask someone that makes you an offer, and the link is going to be found down in the description if you're looking at this in YouTube. So if your offer is not your top priority, you're the first pick that you had in mind when you applied, it's okay to reach out to that first, the one that you really want to go to and say, hey, I got an offer. I was just wondering if you have any updates on your decision or an expected decision date so you can make the best informed decision with the timeline and communicate transparently to everyone involved. And we want just to ask that you keep in mind not accepting several offers. It's very bad form. It's not professional, and sometimes it's not very ethical to reject an offer if you had already accepted it. So think about very clearly about before making that decision to accept, and also communicate with everyone the opportunities that you have applied that maybe have not made an offer so that you can make that decision and communicate appropriately.
Okay, so we also want to talk about the other situation. What happens if you don't get into the program that you applied to or programs? Like you hear back and they're like, all of our slots are filled, we're no longer looking at applications. First and foremost, please understand that it is not a failure on your part if you don't get into an program. RUs get lots of applications, and as we mentioned earlier, there's usually like 9, maybe 10 slots for the program. So that means that they are very competitive. The other thing is some programs have specific requirements. Sometimes this is tied to their funding. Sometimes it's based on how the program was created. So maybe, they are only looking at people who are sophomores or juniors, or maybe they're only looking at people, who are juniors, or maybe they only want people who have not had any research experiences before. There are a lot of things that go into the decision making. And so if you don't receive an offer, it is not a reflection of you. It could be a number of things that determined, who was actually selected for the program and who was not. If you are not a senior, use this opportunity to strengthen your application for next cycle. If you haven't heard back from your top pick, it's okay to ask. Some programs take a little bit longer to actually, go through the decision-making process or the selection process. And the selection process also differs from one program to another. So there might be a number of reasons why, one program has already started making their selections, another program hasn't. Another thing to do is check for programs with rolling applications and apply. So for example, my program takes rolling applications. So a lot of times students may have already, heard back from another program that they didn't get selected, but my program is just starting to review and we continue reviewing through the month of March. So definitely check for new programs. Even if you heard back from others and you didn't get in, put in your application at new programs if they're still reviewing applications. The other thing is have backup plans ready. So you might want to look for paid summer research. This is sometimes not affiliated with REUs. So you can sort of do a search for those kind of programs. Look for paid internships that aren't academic. So not at a university, but may still be related to physics, math, and technology. This is still going to give you really valuable experience. Sometimes there are paid tutoring opportunities, another good experience. It's a way to strengthen your own understanding as you're teaching others. There's paid museum work. And then there's sometimes, if you can't find a paid opportunity, you might want to look for an unpaid research opportunity and then maybe take a part-time paid job so that you're still getting funds during the summer. This is also an opportunity if you are not in any of the REU programs. This is also an opportunity to engage in self-learning. So thinking about developing your skills, thinking about doing independent research, and also again, if you need funds during the summer, which many students do, taking a part-time job. And Daniel, maybe you can tell us about this last one.
Yeah, so there's this other REU that I like making students aware of, called the Polymath REU. So the link is here on the slides, but you'll find it on the video description on YouTube. So you can visit and learn a little bit more. But basically, this is an REU that Geraldine talked about how typically they accept about 9, 10 students or so. This one accepts hundreds of students because they have a lot of mentors and a lot of and the projects are team-based. These are remote projects, and the downside, of course, is that they don't give a stipend like most other REUs. But this would be a backup plan in case that you really didn't find anything, and it could be complemented with something like, like finding a part-time job if you need to still sustain yourself financially, but it would allow you to continue gaining research experience. So check it out with the link, and you can learn more about it. So, and we just wanted to end by reiterating this slide that applying to REU is a very individual process. So if you want any one-on-one help, you can reach out to reuapplicationhelp@gmail.com. We will respond and set up a time to meet and really understand what your situation is, where you're coming from, where you want to go, and try to set you up for the right on the right path. Especially, we talked a lot about these backup plans, and maybe we can help you find a little bit more specificity, because like depending on your institution, depending on where you are geographically, depending on what your goals are or the stage of your undergrad career, these things might look different. And so we can actually help you and go in and do some searching and things like that so that you can establish these backup plans and all that. So with that said, we just wish you good luck, whether or not you received an offer from an REU. There are pathways towards your career in science. It's a matter of finding them and finding the support to get there.